believe it or not, this box of envelopes is a Pokemon Master Set. So in this video, I'll show you how to turn this into this, a complete Pokemon Master Set. So in this video, I'll show you how to use TCGPlayer to order singles or a complete master set, which is what I've done here. We'll open up the product and I'll show you what you can expect to get when you start receiving your packages from TCGPlayer. And then we'll talk about, the downsides of it. Is it worth it? And is it a viable option for completing those missing cards in your collection? So let's swap over to TCGPlayer and then we will open up all of our stuff and take a look at the binder at the end. Okay, so how can we use TCGPlayer to order a master set? First thing we're going to want to do is actually just go to tcgplayer.com. We're going to browse over to Pokemon and we're going to go to Shop All English. If you're doing a recent set, the sets might be here, but we're doing Steam Siege. So we're going to Shop All English. And under here for set, we're just going to search for Steam Siege. And there's a couple different things you can do to start adding cards here. You'll notice I have my list sorted, or my cards sorted by list view. If you sort it here, there's no real good quick add option for your cart. So I like to sort by list view. The first thing I do, and you don't have to do this, you can just go down the list. Every card is in here now. So you can go to product type cards to remove all the sealed product. And now we just have a full list of all of the cards and we can go down there and start adding. What you'll notice though is that there's a mix of conditions. So you'll see this one's lightly played, this one's near mint, moderately played, blah, blah, blah. And the reverse holos are almost never on the front page because they are more expensive than their regular counterparts. So what I like to do is go in order. I like to just start with the commons, and then I do the uncommons, the rares, and then I'll usually do all of the ultra rares, rare breaks, secret rares, all that kind of stuff where there is only one copy of the card. I like to do just in one go. But for the commons, uncommons, rares, and holo rares, which have reverse holo counterparts, I usually do those individually. So let's just do it with the commons. So I'm going to sort by common. I'm going to go to printing and I can sort by either my normal or my reverse holo foil. So I'm just going to sort by normal and I'm going to do condition near mint. This bulk is cheap. There's no need to try to save a penny at a time doing lightly played or anything like that. So I am just going to start going down the list and clicking add to cart. You do not need to look at the price. You don't need to look at the seller or anything. Just get them all added to your cart. TCGPlayer makes it very easy when everything is added to your cart to finalize the cheapest option. So I'll go ahead and you can see I'm just moving down the list and clicking add to cart on every single card. I'll go ahead and get everything added so you don't have to watch me click. And we'll go back and I'll show you a cart that is full of the master set. Actually, let me show you first. Then you can just switch over to reverse holo foil. And you'll see now I've got my reverse holo foils listed, which are a little bit more expensive. And I'm still on my commons, but I can just do the exact same thing. Just go down and do all of my reverse holos and add those to the cart. And once that is complete for every rarity or every card or whatever, theoretically, you should have in your cart the same number as the full Steam Siege master set. So let me go ahead and get that going. All right, so we have everything added. You'll see that up in our cart, we have 209 cards. That's how many cards are in the Steam Siege master set. So we're going to go to our cart. And you're going to see a big total here. And if you see there, most of it is shipping charges. That's because we clicked any random thing. So we're going to want to go to cart optimize here. So we're going to optimize our cart. We want to keep our current conditions so that we stay near mint. We want to keep our current set series so that we stay in Steam Siege. And we want to keep our current rarities so that we keep our, everything we selected as far as common, uncommon, rare. And then we're going to optimize our cart. So instead of getting 102 packages for our 209 cards with $131 in shipping charges, this is going to optimize our cart and consolidate it
into the smallest number of packages possible. And you get a couple different options. So number one, you could do direct by TCGPlayer. Just like it says here on the checkboxes, this is shipped direct by TCGPlayer, and they have top-rated sellers or stores that have to meet very, very strict guidelines reimburse their stock in most cases. So sometimes it'll come from different stores. In other cases, it will just come in one big package from TCGPlayer. Looks like in this case, it's going to come in 25 separate packages for whatever reason. In my experience, I've usually always had it come in one package from the TCGPlayer like distribution center. But they will have tracking on the shipping, and they do a card condition double check where if you say if you selected near mint, they say they check it and make sure it's near mint. I've actually had more luck, to be honest, trusting individual sellers with condition than I have direct through TCGPlayer. But this can be a good option if you need something quick, if you want it trackable, and you don't mind the extra money in shipping because of it. So you can see this is $206 for every card in the master set, including our shipping. Whereas if we go here to verified sellers, we have a few more packages, but significantly lower cost in total cards and a little bit more in total shipping for about, what is that, $15 of cheaper cost on the master set. Still a far cry from what we originally did. So just in the interest of keeping things as cheap as possible, what I did when ordering this master set was this option right here. So you'll see that that switches our cart over to 32 different packages from 32 different sellers. And you can scroll down here and, adjust the shipping if any of them offer expedited shipping. So like some of them will offer expedited shipping if your total is beyond a certain amount. So if I needed the cards faster, I could do so. Typically expedited shipping will come with tracking as well. Most of these will not come with tracking, as we'll talk about when we check out all of these envelopes. And then that's it. For $191.69, you can have the Steam Siege Master Set through TCGPlayer. That doesn't include taxes or anything like that. But you'd be able to complete any master set this way. It is a little tedious, adding all 209 cards, but there is a secondary option. I've never been able to make it work. It's called mass entry. So you can switch over to mass entry, and there is some sort of confusing text format that you can copy in here and click add to cart, and it's supposed to do all of that for you. I have never been able to make it work. I don't think anybody online has been able to make it work. Every time I search for it or search for some type of guide, it's just a bunch of people saying, why doesn't this work? So I believe sticking with the way I've outlined how to do it here is the easiest way to do it. So let's go ahead, and now that you know how to order on TCGPlayer, check out what we received, because this would take quite a long time in shipping to get to you if we just click the checkout button right now. But I've already done that, and we've got the product here. So let's go ahead and open it and check it out.
So what can you actually expect after placing such a large order of singles on TCGPlayer? So I've got a few things that we'll talk about. Obviously, I've had to go through the envelopes just to confirm that I received everything I ordered and black out, addresses and things like that. But first, we're just going to talk about just the sheer volume of packages you will receive. And the number one thing to keep in mind is to expect long shipping times. These are not going to arrive consistently. They're not going to arrive quickly. You do have the option of paying for rush shipping in most instances. Not all shops offer it, but most do. And you can do that if you want. If it's just, a high price single, it might be worth it to you to do that. But for packages like this or large single orders, typically anytime you just pay for rush shipping from this many disparate sellers, I have 27 packages here, or I should have 27 packages here to make up this full master set. So, paying $5, $10 rush shipping for that many sellers is just not cost effective. So I placed the order for all of this at the same time on TCGPlayer on the 24th of June, 6/24, and received the last envelope yesterday, which was 7/26. So over a month of waiting for some of this. So I won't bore you with opening up everything, you know, and looking at it one by one, but I did want to show you generally what you can expect. So we'll go through some of the packages here. You'll see how cards might arrive to you. Usually they're just going to arrive like this in a plain envelope with a top loader, so that the thickness of the envelope does not exceed, you know, the post office's card machines, so that they can, you know, just pay normal shipping with a stamp or something like that. So you'll see that usually you'll get your invoice wrapped around your cards, something like that. So we've got, you'll see this order here was for 3 singles, and I got all 3. So there's a top loader here with 2 of them, and then a 3rd single taped to it and just folded over. And you'll sometimes get nice little messages from the sellers like that. But yeah, so we're just going to go through and stack up all the cards we got. I know that there are things missing here because, like I said, I did have to confirm. Again, sometimes you'll just get it in an envelope, nothing else. The funny thing about this is, you know, you'll get like card savers or top loaders or whatever, and be able to save a lot of the stuff that sellers send to you as packing material, and reuse them if you send your own stuff out. But again, most of what you'll find is packaged the same way. Just wrap your invoice around with what you bought, and then the card in a sleeve and a top loader. However, you should expect issues with this. So we'll talk about a big one here, being postage due in a little bit once we get to some of those packages. You can see one in the back there. But I do want to talk about, like I said, I know that there are some cards missing in this group. There are 25 separate sellers that are, you know, packing together bulk and all that kind of stuff. You should just expect some issues. You know, there's a human element to this. People are going to make mistakes packaging these large amounts of cards. It's just going to happen, you know. And the good thing to keep in mind, at least in my experience with TCGPlayer, is that, to be honest, they're always really, really good at resolving issues. So a little bit of a larger order here. You can see this is just a big bulk order. Lots of reverse hollows, all that kind of stuff. And you'll sometimes get them shipped in these. I hate these things. I wish people didn't use them. I don't think they're any more protective than a top loader, but it's same idea, just a little cardboard shipping sleeve. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to sort through the bulk or anything like that. You'll see the stack grow over here. But like I said, yeah, there's a human element to this. Just a lot of different people. These are just mostly collectors doing, like, sometimes it's a store, you know, in this case. But usually it's just collectors who are trying to make a couple bucks off of their bulk. And, you know, I expect some random element of error, to be honest. You know, cards missing here or there. Big old stack of bulk that way. See, this one just came in a combined pack. All the bulk wrapped up. Another one, just, let me make sure my address isn't on this. Yeah, there's not. So that is just a single card. See? Just a single non-hollow rare sent in an envelope. And that's how the orders work out sometimes. You know, you just pay a little extra in shipping for one card and don't have to pay as much in shipping for other cards. Just wrapped up in random packing material. Another card saver packed in, cards and sleeves, that kind of stuff. Same thing here. So they usually arrive pretty well protected in my experience. I order a lot from TCGPlayer and have never had one, you know, arrive damaged or anything like that because of a shipping mistake or somebody not packing it well. So generally these people who are selling, you know, don't want to have you message them and say like, hey, this arrived not in good shape, blah, blah, blah. So here's a good example of the thickness due thing right here. It's 49 cents, or the postage due rather. The reason saying this exceeds the 1/4 inch thickness and has 49 cents of postage due. So, you know, my mailman knows that I pay it. So he usually actually just leaves the package with me and writes the note there. And I have a little baggie, actually just one of these baggies, like a card bag, that I paperclip to my mailbox with whatever he says was due on the mail. So he'll leave it for me up front. Usually though, they will leave a note. And so like if I get a different mail carrier, that mail carrier may leave a note, and I, you know, will have to drive up to the post office to essentially release the package by paying the extra postage due. And when that happens, you can just let the seller know. Sometimes they'll ask for a picture, sometimes they won't, that they, you know, the post office read the package wrong, whatever, and it required postage. So they will refund you the amount of extra postage due. So it's not really anything out of your pocket. So nothing to worry about. It's annoying, especially if you don't have a good mail carrier like I do, who leaves it for me up front, and you have to, you know, trek up to the post office to release the package, but is what it is. It's usually only a few cents, but you'll see another one back there that is like $3 of postage due, which was surprising to me. That's the most I've ever had. But usually I have a lot more of them requiring postage due, to be honest. Some of the sellers don't, you know, understand the thickness requirements, or they just hope that the post office is going to deliver it anyway. You know, nice. Pretty card, pretty card. The other thing to consider, and we'll look at a couple here as examples, is that, you know, I ordered all of these as near mint. They're obviously coming from this many different sellers. I'm sure there are some cards in here, excuse me, that are not near mint. Let's see if we could just, these random examples. Those actually look okay. This is, I think, just a dirty sleeve. Yeah, just a dirty sleeve. So, especially with the bulk, I would be willing to bet that there are some, you know, that are, whatever, a little beat up. It is what it is. I'm sure most of the secret rares and stuff like that, actual hits of the set, are in the condition needed. So here's, let's take a look at this one. Speaking of. So yeah, I mean, it's a little off center. There's some whitening down there. But I mean, it's fair to call this near mint. If I were to get this graded, probably get an 8 with the terrible centering and the little bit of edge wear and whitening. But I mean, you know, an 8 is still near mint. So you can't expect perfection every single time. But again, if you get something super egregious, which I have done before, especially if you're ordering vintage on TCGPlayer, here's another great example. You'll notice something interesting about this one. So another thing to keep in mind, be careful what you're ordering, especially if you use the card optimizer. It will sometimes select things like this, where that is not the card I need, obviously. That's in Japanese. So I will have to either reorder this. This was my mistake, though. You'll see here on the invoice that the Ambipom was in Japanese. So when my card optimizer reran, it did it and selected a Japanese one. This is a 5-cent card. This is a nickel card that I probably paid like $1 or more in postage. This seller had to send me for a card that cost a nickel, and it's the wrong one. And for 5 cents, he had to supply a bag with, you know, a sleeve, and I guess he didn't have to put a semi-rigid like this, but he did. So, you know, they have cost to ship as well. Here, let's take a look at these to see if any of these are in, you know, less than near mint condition. Again, it's just bulk. So yeah, you can see these have been handled. There's some marks on the back. It's kind of hard to pick up in the camera. You know, lots of whitening there. But again, it's just bulk. I'm not gonna flip out over something that is just a couple pennies. Again, I have a local card shop that keeps all their bulk, organizes all their bulk into these sets. So I typically buy my stuff there, but I did want to demonstrate. And sometimes you'll get bubble mailers, especially for larger packages. And this does look to be like a larger set of bulk. See, they just used saran wrap or something like that for this. So not typical TCG card packing material, but it works. It protects. Looks like some nice reverse hollows. And here's that last package that was $3.13 of postage due. You know, just sent regular first class, $1.87 is what they paid for the postage, and it required an additional $3.13 because they just stuffed a big bubble wrap stack of cards like that, and I guess sent it regular mailer. Maybe the post office made a mistake, I don't know, but either way, all I had to do was contact the seller and say, hey, this came with $3.13 postage due. They said no problem, refunded me the money, and we were on our way. So that is everything we got. Like I said, 27 packages are what should have come to me, and I only received 25. So it's over a month, well over the estimated time, and those two were fully refunded to me. So I know that there is some stuff missing in here for our master set, but I'm going to build the binder, and anything I'm missing, I will check my local card shop for. If you don't have access to a local card shop, hence the purpose of this video, you can just place the order again on TCGPlayer, or a lot of the times if the seller has extras of the card, they'll say, oh, you didn't get them? Okay, I'll send them back out again, and they'll send you more copies. So, you know, TCGPlayer is a great marketplace for reordering like that. And it does take time. So if time is a factor, then, you know, hopefully you do have a local card shop. If you don't, then you can always try eBay or other solutions like that. I think TCGPlayer is pretty good for it though. So let's get these all prepped, sleeved up, and see how much we're missing, and talk about how best to balance buying singles or collecting master sets in this way. Here's the completed binder. We're in just the regular blue Vault-X 12-spot binder. As I was putting the cards together, there were definitely some missing. Like I said, I had to refund a few packages, and I checked out my local card shop to pick up all the cards I was missing. And one of the secret rares, was actually damaged when I received it from TCGPlayer. So I was able to pick that up in near mint from my local card shop. Just a cheap card. But, you know, that just goes to show you what you can expect sometimes from the cards you get on TCGPlayer as far as condition. And, you know, no problems. That was refunded, taken care of. But let's take a look at the binder. We're not going to go through this in a deep dive like our master set reviews, like we typically do. This is just to demonstrate how to use TCGPlayer. But we do have, you know, the regular card and the reverse hollow that we ordered on the website. And then we'll have all of the, you know, extra cards that come with it, the break cards for this particular set. And these X and Y sets were much smaller. Got REX cards over here. These EX or XY era sets were much smaller as far as secret rares. So if you've watched my recent videos, you'll be surprised at how few secret rares are here in the back. But this is the end of the set proper. I used some ETB sleeves for a spacer. And then we've got our single page of secret rares back here. I got a couple of the extra cards from my local card shop, some championship cards, some league cards, some cracked ice, foil variants, stuff like that. Just whatever extra I saw as I flipped through their bulk binder. But yeah, let's take a look at all of the secret rares in the set, because there is only one page of them. Looking good. I really like this era of cards. This is when I got back into Pokemon from, leaving it as in my childhood or whatever. So I've got a soft spot for X and Y for sure. And again, there's the Sycamore there that I got in the bad condition. And then the 2 golds. Nice cards. Love them. And I think I might even have, I've got both of them here. So I kept the damaged one in the back and just put the one from my local card shop in front of it. So I can remember that was the problem I had with it. So is TCGPlayer a good option for ordering sets? Absolutely. If you don't have a local card shop and you're in the US, using TCGPlayer I think is a great option. This set was a little bit more expensive for me to buy on TCGPlayer than it would have been for me to just get everything in my card shop. And I could have gotten everything at my card shop. These older sets, they've got a full bulk box. Could have easily pulled everything I needed from my shop. Most people don't have that luxury. I understand that. But just by virtue of having to pay for shipping, obviously I overpaid a little bit or whatever for the master set. But you don't have to use TCGPlayer to order a full master set. It's fun to rip packs and hunt cards too, but sometimes you just want to complete a small set. This was the cheapest set I could do this experiment with. So I hope that was useful to you guys. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said, it's a pretty easy system to use, and there are benefits, there are downsides, just like anything. But TCGPlayer does a pretty good job of giving you the tools to handle any issues that arise. I buy a lot on TCGPlayer and have no issues that they don't resolve. So I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, everybody. We did just have my daughter, so this video took a little bit longer to get out than I anticipated. We've got some Terrestrial Festival stuff coming up, and obviously some Prismatic Evolutions in the new year. So can't wait to open that with you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.